a video response or request by a subscriber of mine named ralph328 chauncey, and he was asking me about white trolls who go to black websites or channels and antagonize the black people there. I encounter that a lot. I see a lot of that too. I don't think they got onto my videos yet, but I go to a lot of videos like about black people or like black musicians and artists, and you get a lot of white people there. Um, See, the thing about white people in America, well, almost globally, pretty much, they feel a sense of ownership of the black race. That shit sounds funny, don't it? But it's true though. They feel a sense of that they own you. Like if you say something that they don't like or unfavorable to them, it really fucks them up because they feel like you're black. They've been taught you're black. You're at the bottom. I'm white. I'm above you. Listen to what I say. I don't have to prove myself to you. My whiteness is proof enough. And ironically, you got some black people who go along with that. And it's probably more black people who go along with that than ones who don't. You'll be surprised. It's a deep psychological conditioning with white people where they feel like because that comes along with white privilege or whatnot. There are perks to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a white man who's a nobody, he can get respect from black people. Like okay, a white man who's ugly, he can get a decent looking black chick with little or no effort. A white man who's a bum, who's a loser, he can get top black women because he's white. Like I said, there are more black people who go along with that shit than who don't. So they feel a sense of ownership over you. They feel a sense of domination over you as a black person. The black people who say fuck you, fuck your opinions, fuck you, those are the ones that's few and far between. Like it's like you know how like look at black Christians. Black Christians are a joke to me. Because how do you take a religion that was given to you from your enemies and you embrace it wholeheartedly? See, the black people who took that religion back in the day, I don't necessarily blame them because they were living in the fog. But today, there's so much knowledge and information out here that there's no excuse for motherfuckers being the way they are. And usually the black Christians are the ones who say shit like, we're all the same. I don't see color. We are the world. Those are those people. See, the white people wanted black Christians and shit. They want motherfuckers who they can beat on and if they kill some of their family members, they'll say, I forgive you. People who do that are fucking losers. And they don't want to admit that. They give them this positive response like they're good people. If a motherfucker murder your brother or sister or whatever, and you say, I forgive you. They say, "Oh, he's a great person. That motherfucker's a fool, an idiot." When white people, when somebody do something to white people, they don't goddamn say, "I forgive you." They attack, they kill. Did they forgive the Japanese during Pearl Harbor? Did they forgive the attackers of 9/11? Even though I think it's much deeper than that. But no, they didn't. They didn't forgive those people. Only weak motherfuckers, people who are powerless, do that. That's black folk. We're powerless people. So motherfuckers say shit like that because they can't exact revenge. Look at all the black people they killed back in the day for nothing. Look at George Stinney Jr., 14-year-old boy electrocuted for a crime he didn't commit. Emmett Till. Who got punished for that? Nobody. They lived their life well and died probably at old age. But white people feel a sense of ownership of black people. See, black people have been traumatized. See, here's the thing. This is why white people are so nice now. You know why they're so nice to black people now? Some of them. It's because they've done all the fucked up, horrible, terrible things to them that they could possibly do. It's like goddamn taking an animal, just doing everything you can, burning them, beating them, whipping them, starving them, and that animal doesn't die. And then after a while, you get tired of it. You get tired of doing what you're doing. Then you just say, you say, I'm gonna let this dog go, this animal go now. He suffered enough. I'm gonna let him go now. That's black people. That's black people in America. Black people have been an experiment. That's number one. Look at Pearl Harbor. Like, okay, the first time they bombed a place through the air was right here in the United States, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Look, Black Wall Street. They bombed black people. You see what I'm saying? Look at the Tuskegee experiment. Black people. Look at when they were coming up with what's that doctor? The one that works on like women's vaginas and shit. They experimented on black women with no anesthesia. You see what I'm saying? They've done what hasn't they done to you? You think AIDS and shit just popped up out of nowhere? Black people are an experiment, and black people are viewed as expendable people, as an expendable people on this world stage, whether we want to admit it or not. They're planning your destruction. See, people are stupid. Americans, they think that they're well educated because they watch the 7 o'clock news. Do you really think these motherfuckers are going to come on television and say, we're conducting an experiment to kill a certain segment of people? We're going to test this out on black people? They're not going to do that. They're never going to do that. Only time they'll tell you that shit is when you're off of this earth. It's just like how, let's go back to the George Stinney case. Now, like, 50, 60 years after the case, they say he was innocent now because all parties are most likely dead. Like motherfuckers really think that. Like I made a video called "The Role of Television Entertainment." Like motherfuckers really think James Earl Ray, this lone crazed white man, killed Martin Luther King. You really believe that shit? This government kills people. They plan murders across the seas. If they can plan assassinations across the seas and shit, you don't think they can do that shit here? We were the first motherfuckers who they, like I said, who they experimented on. They kill our leaders outright. And they may tell you something different because guess what? We don't own any media. And if they own all the media, they can tell whatever story they want to. Black people got to stop thinking on a surface level. But I keep going, getting off topic. I'm talking about white trolls, but all this shit ties into the mentality of white people in general. Most white people have a sense of ownership of black people because black people have been tamed in a way. They've done everything they can possibly do to you, and a lot of them can't take you like okay. I remember back in the early '90s when hip hop was in that pro black era with X Clan and Public Enemy and shit. I know for a fact somebody sat down and said, we can't have this shit. Because black people were walking around wearing Malcolm X hats and African medallions and feeling themselves and shit. Somebody said, you can't have these Negroes feeling themselves like this. Let's put some other shit out here. We don't want black people to be walking around proud to be black. No. And that's how gangster rap really took a full, really blew up. And that's all you got after that, pretty much, for the most part. Promoted. But it's a deep issue. I hope I, you know, gave you a little bit more insight on it. What my perspective anyway. So thanks for the topic.